Hello folks, welcome to the League of Gaming Psychopaths. My name is Xaltharog. In my last video we talked about this amazing game which is highly inspired by FPS classic retro games like Quake and Doom 64, called Project Warlock. In this video we will talk about its explosive boomer shooter sequel, Project Warlock 2. So, folks, let's start. Project Warlock 2 is what we can actually call a spin-off sequel to Project Warlock. We do not find here what happens to Master Warlock after he becomes the king and ruler of the Hell. Instead, we play as three different protagonists, Palmer, Erd, and Kirsten, who are disciples of Master Warlock, who are in a mission to find his Master Warlock after he disappeared and became the King of Hell. Project Warlock 2 is first-person shooter video game made on Unity Engine, developed and published by Buckshot Software. It was released in 2022, and still in its beta version. As I said earlier, this game has three protagonists, Palmer, Erd, and Kirsten. Each have their own skills, perks, unique weapons, magic skills to unlock, and personal reasons to confront their old Warlock master. The game has three explosive chapters set in distinct environments, encountering a menagerie of deadly monsters, powerful bosses hulking in the darkness, and unleash a bullet hell action that will infuse constant adrenaline bursts. Each of the three chapters of Project Warlock 2 consists of 6 huge sprawling levels up to 10 times bigger than any individual level in the original game. But since the game is still in its beta version, I was only able to play all the 6 levels of Chapter 1 with our first protagonist, Palmer. Levels in the game evolved into vertical, 3-dimensional, multi-floored structures, platforms, and buildings that literally elevate the gameplay, filled with enemies, obstacles, secrets, Easter eggs, perks, and achievements to unlock. Every level in the game can take up to 1 hour to complete. Like Project Warlock, the gameplay of Project Warlock 2 also gives us a similar feeling of that of older version of Doom 64 games, and some mixed experience of Quake franchise. And in this game players can choose from 3 protagonists, Palmer, Erd, and Kirsten. Each have their own skills, perks, unique weapons, magic skills to unlock, to defeat enemies and progress through the levels. Let's talk about weapons. Palmer, Erd, and Kirsten carry unique arsenals of weapons and magic skills based on their personas that enable different playstyles. Shotguns, machine guns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, quad-barreled harvesters, swords, staffs, and cannons are just a few examples of weapons available only to Palmer. Tools of destruction can be upgraded, resulting in 20+ weapons for each character. Talking about enemies, each chapter of Project Warlock 2 puts you against new types of enemies. Relentless ghoul hordes, naked imps jumping you from behind, tough knights with rocket launchers, flying machine guns with heads, and massive pig demons blocking your way are just a few examples of monsters that will jump, run, hold, hop, whirl, and use every attack style at their disposal to turn you into doggy chow. Like its predecessor, Project Warlock 2 also has received generally positive reviews for its retro-style graphics and intense gameplay. So this game is pretty straightforward, just moving forward and shooting enemies. But the tricky part is finding all the keys to unlock doors to proceed in the game. I can also upload separate gameplay and walk through videos of each level. Just ping a comment below. In this video, I will just show you the gameplays of all boss fights from episode 1 to 6 of chapter 1. So folks, please watch till the end. And please consider subscribing and please hit the like button. It helps with motivation. So now let's move on with Project Warlock 2. So, folks, when we start new game and choose Palmer as our player, it says in his biography that Palmer is a fanatical follower of his master and wants to follow on his footsteps and fight evil. The game starts with a note from Palmer which says, "We are warlocks. We traverse time and universe looking for wisdom and power. Some times ago our master talked about going on a crusade against evil, and shortly thereafter he disappeared. So, we can assume that Palmer is on a mission to search his warlock master." But episode 1 of the first chapter starts in Palmer's castle, and we don't get to know how and why is the evil attacking Palmer's castle. Maybe we will get to know about it when we play the full game. But as I said earlier, this game is still in its beta version, and I only got to play all the 6 episodes of the first chapter. Now let's see the boss fight of episode 1. He is known as the Turbo Knight. Episode 2 starts in an old village, and we can see there are humans also. The old village is attacked by evil, and humans are trying to run and hide themselves. There is a reference of why the evil attacked this old village, and it is shown in Episode 6. I will tell you more about it later. Please watch the full video. For now, let's check the boss fight of Episode 2, known as Uber Shambler. Episode 3 starts in the ancient ruins, and we will see boss fight with the boss called Necromant. This boss Necromant also reappears in final boss fight as a pre-boss character, but let me tell you, he is not the final boss. And there is also a reason behind why Necromant reappears as a pre-boss in Episode 6. I will tell you, please watch the full video. The Necromant has a special ability to summon enemies, so it makes this boss fight a little bit difficult, but I have God mode, and so I don't need to worry. Episode 4 takes place in the underground, and the boss of this episode is called Hog Daddy. Episode 5 takes place in a place called Necromant's Castle. And the boss of this episode is Skeletron. This name is kinda similar to might be a descendant of Megatron, of Transformers, and should look like this. But instead, it looks like this. Let's check the boss fight with Skeletron. Episode 6 takes place in a place called the Wolf's Den, but I am not sure who is referred as the wolf here. We can also see humans here, and they are held captive in a kinda jail-like structures. But most importantly here is the reference why the evil attacked the old village in Episode 2. They kidnapped human and held them captive here. And we can also see the reason behind it. See, there is a demon inside this test tube-like structure, and we can see all blood going up. So they are actually performing a human sacrificial ritual to bring Satan back to life. But we will see that the final antagonist of this chapter is called Proto-Satan. And if we check the bestiary section in the main menu, it says something about Proto-Satan. It says Proto-Satan is Necromant's abomination, a failed experiment of bringing Satan back to life. And we can also see that it says the Necromant is an ancient worshipper of Satan. His main power is necromancy. So we can finally relate that. Necromant, being an ancient worshipper of Satan, is actually trying to bring Satan back to life by performing this human sacrificing ritual. He appears as a pre-boss in Episode 6 to stop Palmer from interfering with his ritual. But when Necromant is defeated, his ritual fails, and so we get Proto-Satan as the final boss. Let's check out the final boss fight. After defeating the final boss Proto-Satan, the game automatically redirects you to the main menu. So, we do not know what happens next. We can only find out what follows next when more chapters will be released by Buckshot Software. Let's hope for the best. And best wishes to Buckshot Software. I would also like to wholeheartedly thank Buckshot Software for developing and delivering us this type of retro-style classic first-person shooter games with good storyline, cheaper in price, and can be played on low-end rigs. The game is available on Steam and GOG at just $16.99. It's very rare to find such amazing games today, as most of the other game developing companies are mainly focusing on ultra-realistic graphics and game environments. And most importantly, the graphics card companies are persistently releasing new high-end graphics cards these days, which are not just expensive, but also compels you to change the entire rig to run that graphics card. So many thanks to Buckshot Software. Okay folks, I will see you in next video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also check my videos on gameplays and detailed explanation of other games in my channel. Till then, goodbye.